There's healing that happens when we accept Christ, like deep healing. But there's a lot of scar tissue that's left behind.
Yeah.
And it's like that scar tissue that actually gets in the way of us living fully in that identity. And that scar tissue needs cleaned up. It's a reminder of what's happened. So I think in our own conversion experience, we say our yes, and we can even be living the right way, but then it comes back to like old patterns that can resurface and reemerge that it's like, can we still say yes?
Yeah.
And Jean Valjean says yes. That's his turning point when he hits that soliloquy moment after getting... I'm Nick Clooney, and you're listening to the Hey Brother podcast. Join me and my brother Mitch as we challenge each other and other Catholic men to grow deeper in brotherhood, strengthen our faith, and find greater freedom. Hit the subscribe button and join us on this journey. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hey Brother podcast. Mitch, what are we talking about today?
Have you ever wanted to experience the good, the true, and the beautiful, but we're always told that it wasn't cool or wasn't manly to do so? I think Les Mis is a beautiful way to break that barrier.
I remember when it came out in 2012, right? I didn't want to like it for whatever reason.
Yeah, right?
But it came out, and I'm just like, I'm not going to watch that. Musicals are dumb.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my attitude was towards that. And I don't think it's dissimilar to a lot of men out there. And their attitude towards
because
musicals. I mean, there are dumb musicals out there. Like, let's get our spade or call a spade a spade. But
yeah, and there's like, you know, it's not like football, right? It's like not macho to like appreciate a musical.
Yeah, I feel like Hamilton maybe changed that kind of culturally, right? Like,
right, because it's like
it tapped into something that was macho, but.
Modernizing, I mean, like that's the whole like point of it too, is like telling America then by like America now, which is like a cool like way to go about it.
So we want to talk about the good, true, and beautiful through the lens of Les Mis.
Well, I guess I want to start with I think Les Mis is actually one of the most masculine stories out there, like in terms of like media that you can consume. Because it follows Jean Valjean, right? And it's...
When's the first time you watched Les Mis?
When it first came out in, like, 2012, I think I was in junior high, and, like, some of my friends were watching it, and I wasn't super interested then. But then, like, first time, like I intently watched it for, like, to actually absorb it and, like, figure out what it was.
Yeah. Was,
like, probably in college sometime.
Okay.
Sophomore year of college.
Nice. And you watched like the one with you?
No, it was definitely junior year of college because that was when I really embraced that. That's like fits the theme of my life of like embracing
deeper truths.
Right.
Yeah.
Like looking at things for what they are.
That makes sense. So you encountered it the first time in junior high, but then really
when it came out, everyone talked about it.
Yeah.
And
one of the things, because you did say it was one of the most masculine stories out there, Jean Valjean's story. I think it also helps that Hugh Jackman, who plays Wolverine,
is a very masculine fella too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And if you don't know the story, it follows kind of like immediately after the French Revolution, but like also kind of like during the French Revolution.
Yeah, I'm not a historian, but I think the French Revolution had a lot of stopping going.
Yeah, there was like a couple waves of it, and basically they killed the kings and the queens, and then like 6 years later they put in a second king. Like they reinstituted a king, and that's where the story starts. Whoa, mess that wire up. But that's where the story starts again. That time frame at least. But the story really starts with Jean Valjean, and he's in his last day of being a prisoner because he was sent away to prison for 19 years because he stole bread to feed his nephew. Because they didn't have like the money to do that. And
so you got sentenced to prison for 20 years? Is that what
5 years for what you've done?
Yeah.
And the rest because he tried to run.
Yeah. The first number.
Yeah, right. And then so he gets released, and
he's on the run. He's trying to get his papers. Because the first time I watched it, actually wasn't even the movie. It was at the local theater here, the Schuster Center here in
Yeah.
Dayton, and we watched it
The
as
musical.
a play, and I didn't know what was going on, but I'm like, I know I love this.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I could follow the story just enough, but we've watched it. Renee and I watched it many times since like the movie version, and so he's just like trying to figure out how to get work at that point, right? He escapes,
Yeah,
or
right.
not escapes, but he's let go. But he's basically got a mark on him.
Yeah,
that, like
he's-
no one wants to hire him because of his criminal past, his stealing bread,
Right.
to save his dying nephew past.
Yeah, and then we'll speed through this, but he gets to an opportunity for a new life, and then in that new life he becomes an honest person, and then we join in the story of Fantine and how she ties into it, and he ends up doing wrong to her without knowing it, and then in return he ends up raising her daughter as his own.
Which is wild.
Yeah, and so it's like just, a man that is like, like it also displays his incredible strength, like right at the beginning of the movie where he like moves the whole like flag of the mast of a ship. Yeah. The flag on a ship is like absolutely massive.
Gotta get better quality electric tape. This is our first time recording in our new studio, and it's got its hiccups, but it's okay.
That's all right. Anyhow, so I wanted to kind of talk about the first like 3 to 4 songs of the movie of the musical.
Yeah.
And it talks about it. It starts with him as a prisoner and Look Down. That's the name of the first song.
Yeah.
And then it moves into him being released, and how he gets his opportunity for a new life is he's looking for work, and no one will take him because he has to present his papers. And if he doesn't present his papers, then he'll like get put back into like the prison.
Yeah.
Because he's on parole. But he has nowhere to turn because he's like no one's hiring him. And the one person that does hire him pays him like unfairly, right? He's just like, what are you gonna do about it? Like you can't find it. No one else is even gonna hire you, so you take your dollar for the day that you worked, So the bishop at like the monastery like sees him like struggling, and he like takes him in, and it's a very beautiful song there too, that where the bishop shows genuine Christian charity.
Yeah.
Like I can't even think of a better example of it in like pop culture today.
Yeah.
Of like true Christian charity.
I love, and this is a spoiler alert, but you've had 13 years to watch the movie, and how many ever long years to read the book, because the whole musical is based on a book that's
the book's like super old, written in the 1800s.
But the bishop, like he gets caught stealing from the bishop.
Yeah, right. That's
were you gonna talk about that?
Yeah.
I love that scene because it's just like it just shows how gratuitous, or like how much the bishop just wants to give to John Valjean.
So let's back it up a bit. So he welcomes him in simply because he sees he needs help, and he gives him a warm meal and wine to drink, and just truly loving him. And then he lets them stay the night, and Valjean, as an opportunist, sneaks out and he steals all of the
There it goes. For those of you listening to the audio only, if we don't cut this, our studio backdrop's just coming apart a little bit, but it's okay.
He's an opportunist, so he steals some candlesticks from not the candlesticks. That's later, but he steals like the dinnerware from
the silver china or
silverware, like made from actual silver, and to like try to get ahead, and then he gets caught, and the guards bring him to the bishop's house, and if the bishop condemns him and says, yes, he stole this from me, those were mine, Valjean is going to go away for the rest of his life back to the prison. But the bishop looks at him, and the guards say, like, this guy said you gave them to him instead of stealing them. And then the bishop's like, yeah, I did. Like, he has spoken truly. Like,
Yeah, which is like
which isn't, it's not true, but the bishop says it is like that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it was a gift, and then he's like, but you left too early because you forgot the candlesticks, like the which are the like crown jewel of the piece. It's like the most silver of there, and he's like, why would you leave without taking these two? And like, that's nuts, right?
Yeah, and it's like that act of generosity that gives Jean Valjean the choice to do something with his life that was different. Like here, he's given this opportunity to choose. Like, do I respond to this heroic charity from the bishop in a way that honors like what he's done for me, or do I respond in a way?
But it's also nice too because the bishop kind of gives him that ultimatum. It's just like he's like, take this silver and become an honest man.
Yeah.
And he's like, what I've done for you was because of the name of God. Like, I did it in the name of God. So become a Christian, become a good man.
Yeah.
And that just tears Valjean apart. That's like following the next song, Valjean's soliloquy. He's like, why did he do that?
Yeah.
Everything I've known about how the world works isn't, that's not like in accordance with what I just witnessed.
Yeah, because up to that point, like everything for Jean Valjean was like shitty moment after shitty moment, right? Like it felt like the world was against him. And so like, what was his response? Well, I'll be the bad guy, right? Like, I will just, I'll hate the world. And I feel like that can be the case for men in today's world so often, where it's like, I get screwed over. Okay, I'll just be the bad guy.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. There's another line I could talk about later. This could be a 16-hour podcast, but we'll back up a little bit. When he gets released from prison, he goes off. He gets his papers, and he says the line. It's a very powerful line. Very easy to miss. He's like, "Now I want to see what this new world has to offer me, like as a freshly released prisoner." Mm-hmm. And he goes back into the world expecting the world to give to him again. Yeah. Right? Like that was his view on it. He's like, I'm out of that shithole, and now how's the world going to make it up to me? And that's like not the right attitude at all, right? Like,
yeah. Cuz he's like turning towards the world for something more. Yeah. And the world doesn't give it to him, right? Like it treats him like shit even more. Like no, like you have this mark, because it was like very imperial run France at the time, at least what I was gathering from looking into the story and watching the movie, watching the musical. Like the imperial French had a lot of power, and everyone was afraid to cross the imperial French people. So that's why he goes to all these places, and he's like, I'm on parole, but I am not a prisoner anymore. Can you give me work? They're like, no, you're on parole. Like, if we're caught dead, like helping you, like then our necks are on the line. So we're not going to do that. And so, yeah, he's looking for the world to give him something, and nothing.
Right. Like, and I think that just ties back into like even our own kind of like ways that we can like break free from our own prisons, you know, and like.
Yeah. As soon as we taste that freedom, then we're like, all right, I'm a new man, and what can the world give me?
And that's where the bishop comes in and hits him, right? Where he actually, where Valjean was like expecting the world to give to him, it didn't, so he took, and then the bishop did give it to him, right?
Yeah.
Like in a way that was like unfounded to him, and
like totally sent him into the spiral. It's like one of the greatest moments in cinema history or like TV history that captures this epitome or like this change moment of like some story or character arc is Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they have a whole episode dedicated to Zuko, who's like the main nemesis for the first 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Going through this feverish like cold sweat, right? Because he's having this moment where he's encountering like the truth and he's like trying to figure out like, what the heck, how do I reorganize my life now? Like, if this is true, if I'm really on the wrong side here, this is Zuko, then what does life mean? And like that's kind of the same thing that Jean Valjean goes through.
Yeah.
In that moment where he's just like, I don't know what to do with my life.
Well, not dissimilarly is like his soliloquy at the end. So before we get to the end, I guess like, and what the bishop showed Valjean is that instead of having an attitude of what the world can give to me, the bishop has an attitude of what can I give to the world?
Yeah.
What can I give to everyone? And like that's what I mean by true, like Christian display or true display of Christian charity.
Yeah.
In film. And so that he has the whole soliloquy is about his wrestle, like you're talking about with Zuko.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, he takes his parole papers and he rips them up. He's like, I gotta be a new man. Like whatever the bishop has is what I need to do. And I need to give back to the world, instead of trying to take from it and expect it. So he's like, I'm becoming a new person. Jean Valjean is dead. He's no more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to become a new person. And like, I think again, that is a perfect like analogy for how like living the life of Christ is.
Yeah.
It's like when you encounter it, what is true and what is good and what is beautiful, it like, there is only one response, and that is to die with Christ, to be reborn with him, resurrected with him.
Yeah, let the old Adam die and take on the new Adam of Christ. Like,
yeah.
Every individual's called to that at some point, to some degree. Not always is it like the dramatic musical number.
No, right?
Valjean, like, where, like, cause like, that's not the act end, is it? Like, cause
no, dude, this is just, we're not even through the introduction.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's what I'm like. I think this is like just like the.
This is literally like 9 minutes into the whole thing.
But it's the first time jump though of the musical.
It is the first time skip.
Where they like skip ahead.
Yeah.
Which that's like one of the complaints that I think people have the first time they watch Les Mis. Is like, I'm confused. What's happening? Why are we? What time is it? Like, where are we at? And
yeah.
But like, not all the time is that like big a moment where we have this encounter with the Lord gonna be. I feel like it can happen in big ways, but then it's like a daily. Like, this is like a macro like life picture where like he sets that needle the right direction this one time and starts becoming a better man. But it's like a daily thing that we're asked of as men to like continually put away the old man and
right.
like, live the new man. Which Jean Valjean, like, his character goes through that a little bit, right? Like he gets moments where he's tested.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's a big thing. So like he breaks parole, right? And he goes on the run on the lam, and he becomes this new person, and like he becomes the mayor of a town, and like super successful and whatnot. And for all his foreseeable future, like nothing's gonna change about it. And then one day, Javert is the parole officer that let him go initially. He rolls into his town and he accuses a different guy of being Valjean. Yeah. He's like, dude, that's the guy that broke parole like 6 years ago or whatever, and I'm gonna arrest him because Jean Valjean is like a dirty crook. And then the guy now living as the mayor of the town, who is Valjean, goes to that guy's trial, and he says, no, like, that's not him. I am. Like, I'm Valjean. Like, I admit it. Like, I'm the guy that broke parole, so, like, let that guy go.
Yeah, it's a great number, too.
Yeah.
The whole who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you're like, boom. Like, and, like, what I love about that particular moment in the musical is, like, the who am I think becomes one of the more popular numbers of the, like, that people have quoted and thrown out there. But, like, I mean, the whole musical, it's a good musical. It's done really well because everything is like got this replaying back into the themes and intercrossing and like along with the deeper message going on. But like in that particular moment when he's like going to the court to be like, no, this man isn't me. Like, I am Jean Valjean. Like, it's like a very existential question where like it's almost like a deeper acceptance of his identity, right?
It's
and that's the same kind of action as ripping the payroll or payroll, the parole papers, right?
Yeah.
He rips it, and it's like this existential acceptance of like, no, I'm called to something more.
Yeah.
And like the same moment there, it's like, no, I am who I am. Like,
right. Yeah, because before that, he's kind of running from his identity a little bit to like put on the face of a new identity. But then like he grew,
which is so like common of like conversion experience, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like the first time you have this conversion, you put on the Christian identity, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to the praise and worship groups. I'm going to the Bible studies.
Yeah.
And like,
oh yeah, that's so true.
and it's not like a bad thing, right? It's like you are getting fed, and like even him as mayor, like he's like doing good things as a mayor.
He's a good mayor, yeah.
But there's like a disconnect a little bit with who he is and like who he's trying to be.
Right. I mean, we kind of like talked about that in our duplicitousness episode. But yeah, then it kind of like his past catches up with him, and now he has to decide, like, all right, you know what? Like, as a full person, like I can't just pretend to be what I'm not anymore, and he has to confront who he is in his past. And there's also another beautiful thing that goes on with that, with like that song too, and like the name, because in the beginning, Javert calls him prisoner 24601.
Yeah.
And then he tells him, no, my name's Jean Valjean.
Right
and then Javert's like, and I'm Javert. Don't forget that name, prisoner 24601. Immediately calls him by his prison number again.
Yeah.
And then the climax of that song, when he takes up his, like, when he's, you know, accepting the responsibility of who he was, the guy that broke parole, that's like the climax. He's like, who am I? 24601. Like goes back to calling himself by the number and not the name.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm just kind of thinking about like, what does that how does that tie into like our own like reflections of life, right? Of like
going back and forth on conversion and like
yeah, right, because like your past like catches up with you, but definitely I don't like know that embracing it as your identity is a good thing.
Yeah, the way I describe it to folks in mentorship a lot of times is like there's healing that happens, and this is my story through and through, not just like folks I mentor, but like my experience. Yeah. There's healing that happens when we accept Christ, like deep healing, but there's a lot of scar tissue that's left behind.
Yeah,
and it's like that scar tissue that actually gets in the way of us living fully in that identity, and that scar tissue it needs cleaned up, and it's there, right? Like it's a reminder of what's happened. The scar, the scar itself isn't a problem. Like Christ comes back with his wounds, right? He comes back with his wounded nature to love us and to show us that like our wounded nature can be healed and glorified. But it's like the scar tissue analogy is powerful because it's like there's tissue around the scar that still is like making things problematic that needs to be healed up just a little bit more to accept it fully. So I think in our own conversion experience, it's like we have that, we say our yes, and we can even be living the right way, but then it comes back to like old patterns that can resurface and reemerge, that it's like, can we still say yes?
Yeah.
And like Jean Valjean says yes, like that's his turning point when he hits that soliloquy moment after getting the candlesticks from the priest, and like he's like, wow, I've experienced this awesome grace from this priest, now what? Like this is not how I've experienced the world. And ever since that point, like he's been saying yes, like and in the really hard moments where the yeses come, and so like he says yes, I'm Jean Valjean, and that shoots to the next part of the musical where he starts to be parent to
right, because right before that, and this is a whole kind of side story, not side story, but it's like part of the main story, but I think we're kind of like, I don't think we can have the time to jump into it deeply.
Yeah. We should talk about so Javert and Jean Valjean are like kind of what we want to hit on the most in here.
So I guess the connection to the second part of the story is important here, because what happens is that he promises one of his workers that he's going to take care of her daughter, and then he like turns himself in as Valjean, but he's like, Javert, I'll go with you like without protest, but first I got to pick up this girl. Mm-hmm. And so then the rest of the movie is him. Javert's like, no, you don't have the time for that. I'm going to arrest you now. And he's like, well, if you're going to say no, I got to go keep on doing it like this. So he runs away again just to go pick up Cosette, and then raises her as a daughter again with like an altered identity just so that he can fulfill his promise to raising her before turning himself in. And the whole time, Javert is chasing him, right, trying to arrest him. And that sets up this duality that they've been setting up from the beginning with Javert and Valjean, that like Valjean is set up as this like immoral guy, right? Like guy that was a prisoner, like from like the world's perspective. He's like he's an outcast.
Yeah.
No good with him. And then the papers label him as an evil man.
Right.
But he like truly has a conversion, accepts Christ. Whereas Javert's the opposite. He's kind of like Judge Frollo in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Where he's like prides himself on being a Christian,
Very
right?
pious man.
Yeah, right. He's like, I'm so holy, like scum like you don't deserve to like be in my presence, like kind of deal.
It's like a blinding orientation towards justice is like what describes Javert. He's like, it has to be like the right thing has to be the right thing, and
that's the way God wants it. Because like that is a big point of him. Because like he has like 2 songs, Stars, and he's like,
which is probably one of the best numbers in the
I love
musical.
that.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I think it's like mixed reviews on that one, honestly.
That's his like first solo, right? Like
yeah.
It's like walking.
On the. I think it's the bridge.
The bridge.
Yeah.
Which is a callback.
Gets called back.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm like, in that song, he says, if you fall like Lucifer fell, you fall into flames. So like you get an insight to like his perspective. It's just like, you need to be just and ordered or else you're going to go to hell. And it's like through that ruthless mentality that he kind of like misses the mark, right?
Yeah.
He's not truly like, while like the world around him is like, oh, that's the Christian dude. Mm-hmm. Like he's not displaying Christian charity at all. Like like what it means to be a Christian in the slightest. And so we get this kind of like juxtaposition between the two, and even like their songs and the music, how it's written, is like mirrored. And so we have Valjean's soliloquy, and then there's a moment where they kind of like Javert catches up to Valjean, and then Valjean bests him, and Valjean has an opportunity to like cut ties and like not have to worry about Javert chasing him anymore, because he can just shank him and like leave him in an alley, and no one would ever know, and he would be gone. And like he had him at like knife point to do that. And Valjean didn't. Yeah. He chose to be merciful again when Javert has consistently not been merciful to him. Right. It was like would no way relent of
no ounce of mercy. One of the cool things about their juxtaposition too is like there's a duet right at the end of this first act between Jean Valjean and Javert, right? And they're talking back and forth. And Javert, you actually hear a little bit about Javert's like backstory, right? His history, right?
Because the whole time it's like they're kind of talking over each other, and then what I think you're about to allude to, the song, the music, Valjean stops talking just so you can hear like it highlights this part of
Javert's backstory.
Yeah,
I don't even remember like the specifics. Like he's like basically he's saying like I was a rat like you.
Yeah,
but then I became who I am, and now I do. Yeah. Do the justified thing, right? Like, do you know the line better, or specifically what he says in that moment?
I was from the gutters too. I was filth just like you, like something like that.
It's a powerful line.
Yeah,
and like the reason I call it up because it's like the big difference between the two of them as far as like their paths, right? Because like you get this, Jean Valjean's trying to do the right thing, Javert's trying to do what he thinks is the right thing. But, like, what was their difference in their conversion point? Like, earlier, is, like, Jean Valjean received his freely. Like, they both came from, like, utterly nothing. I was trash just like you. And he was given everything by this bishop. And, like, it was a free gift from the bishop, from somebody else. Where Javert was a self-made man, right? Yeah. Like, he identified, like, this is what will make me, like, right, is like by identifying justice, and like, so it's a very like,
And he locked in his worldview to what he had made it to be.
yeah, and so yeah, it's a very much so like I have to be self-sufficient, and like that's how I identify with the world and making the right decision, versus I had nothing and somebody gave me a ton of money and candlesticks.
Right.
Like,
and he gave him his life, really,
yeah,
right? Because like the bishop did have his life in his hands, because the bishop could have said, yes, he stole that from me, and Jean Valjean would have been sent to jail for the rest of his life.
yeah, and like the big thing is like Jean Valjean was given something, like Javert wasn't, and that happens though.
Yeah.
Javert is given something, and he later in the movie, and he has a very similar
Right.
confliction as Jean Valjean.
Yeah, and then that's what I was getting at. So Valjean has like the bishop gives Valjean his life in that moment, because he could have sent him to prison the rest of his life. And there at the end again, when they confront each other finally, Valjean has Javert's life in his hands, and he could, like let him live, or like take his life
Right.
for the same thing. But Valjean shows the same mercy that he was shown.
Yeah.
And now Javert goes into the same wrestling of his identity as Valjean did earlier. And like that's why it really sticks out to me. The last last couple times I've heard the musical is like, so we go in from that moment, we go into Javert's soliloquy. I'll just call it that for now, to match Valjean's soliloquy. And if you listen to them side by side, they're echoes of each other until the end. There's like this little build up moment of what they decide to do with that mercy they're shown. And Valjean's like, I am not Valjean anymore. I'm going to become a new man and live a new life. And Javert is like, does Valjean know that sparing me my life, he's killed me even so? Like,
Yeah.
and then there's a build up of like where Valjean ends with ripping up his papers, and Javert, he's like, I'm reaching but I fall, and then I know I'm explaining this poorly, but he ends up jumping off a bridge and killing himself.
Yeah, a different kind of death.
Yeah, so yeah, Valjean kills Valjean himself to
Yeah.
become a new person, but Javert can't handle the mercy that he was been shown, because of how he built his life into such a narrow path that he's like, this isn't just at all what he did for me. And if that was what mercy is, and like what it means to be like a good person, then everything I've done for my entire life is like horrible. Like, I am a terrible, terrible person.
Yeah.
Because like I could have been like, I think like he experienced Christian love again, right? And he's like, what I've been calling Christian love is wrong, and I've been so wrong. There's no way to get out of it, and so he takes his own life for it.
Yeah, and like that's the greatest strategy in it is like he doesn't feel like he's worthy to receive Christian love, right?
Yeah,
Like, and I feel like that's like a lot of guys' stories out there when we come back to like how does this apply to our own lives. It's like if like we can hit these moments where we receive like really loving care and support from people, and then we don't receive it because it's like, you don't know the shit I've done. Like, if you could look at the crystal ball, if you've seen like the addictions that I've had, if you've seen like the ways I've treated people, like, you wouldn't be giving this to me. Like, it doesn't line up, and like there's this total rejection of somebody's actual authentic love and care. And it's like, that's the sad thing. It's like, yeah, sure, you have been shitty.
Yeah.
Like so was Jean Valjean, but like, it's not like, that's like missing the point. It's not based on like your actions. It's not based on your merits that you're being given this.
Yeah.
Like it's a total free gift. and like, it just wasn't compatible with Javert, and that's why he offed himself. And it's just like,
it's very mirroring of like Judas, right?
yeah.
Where like
he would have been forgiven.
right, and like even Judas, like Jesus says in the Last Supper, right? It would be better if he would have ever been born. Like, what he means by that is just like, I know you're not going to forgive yourself for this, and it'd be better if you hadn't been born, because then you wouldn't do what you're about to do. Like,
right.
and like you wouldn't be able, like, you wouldn't be able to accept mercy.
Yeah.
Because of the accent you chose, and like I think that like is going on with Javert too.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah,
there's so many good things about Les Mis.
Yeah, right. And I think that's a good place to wrap it up, because like I said, these are only a touch of the storylines of what's going on in there, and I think it's just like another reason why I like think it's like the good, the true, and the beautiful is that like the composition, the way the music's written, is like. It touches your heart whether you want it to or not. You know, like the music already is very intense. But like light, like too, like it's a super dark story, really. Like it's just relentlessly dark, and there's only a couple nuggets of like happiness and joy, and including the best song about prostitution ever.
Yeah, which is like a very cynical like contrast, right? Like,
yeah, right. Like the lightest part of the movie is about prostitution.
And then even like the innkeepers.
Yeah, the innkeepers are like, we're just like
terrible people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why. Again, we could go on for days talking about it. It's so well done, and I think it's like the deeper themes that make it what it is, and I feel like it's an easy thing to gloss over, like to get kind of pulled in, like, oh yeah, that was a fun musical, like it had some good numbers. It's like, no, like, wait, like, but listen, like there's
really,
there's a lot going on here.
Like what you said, like the first time you watch it, I don't think, like, even with like the movie that gives you the subtitles of the timeline, you're not gonna like internalize that timeline of what's going on, and then like even like a couple watch throughs too, it's like then I finally understand the story. And like I said, most recently I'm like, oh, like this juxtaposition between Javert and like it's like it keeps like it's so deep.
Yeah, every time you watch it, you pull in something new. Even in this conversation, I think there's like some like, oh yeah,
right.
There's that going on, but it's good. We'll probably tag on there like. Please watch Les Mis before jumping into this episode. It's a good prerequisite to follow what we're talking about in here. But
if you haven't, there's like, if this should be your sign to like
give it a watch. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. We're gonna call it here. Please let us know what you guys think about these episodes and the Hey Brother podcast in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share this with a brother who might appreciate it, and yeah, let us know what you guys are thinking about. Any last sign-off things?
Nope. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. All right. God bless. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the Hey Brother podcast. If this episode has been a blessing for you, help us grow by sharing it with a brother who needs it. Visit crafterformore.com for more resources in growing a brotherhood, pursuing chastity, and overcoming addiction. Don't settle for less. Hit subscribe, and let's become the men God has created us to be.
There we go. I got it.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So maybe locked eyes for a minute. This became way too intimate. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hey Brother podcast. Me and Mitch are talking about something awesome today. Take one. Flip the mic.